This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed. She's an actress, she's a writer, she's also a creative chef. She does it all. The one and only NESSA AMHERST. Hello, NESSA.
Hi, how are you doing today?
NESSA, I'm doing so much better now that we are finally meeting after all these months. NESSA, you are such an incredible talent, but you're also an incredible light. I want to know, first and foremost, when did you fall in love with the theater?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved reading books, and in school, I just loved to read out loud. And whenever I would get into the story, my voice would just take me to places that I never expected to take me. But I never really got into it until sixth grade, actually, when I transferred schools and I found this opportunity. Well, my mom actually found this opportunity to be in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in the children's chorus. And I auditioned for that. I got in, and before I go any further, my love just really started from there because I grew up in an abusive household. My father and my older sister mentally, emotionally, and physically abused me for much of my life. And when I found myself on stage for the very first time in Joseph, the feeling of freedom, joy, and releasing of my inhibitions just took off. And for the first time in my life, I felt fearless. I didn't have to hide anything. I could experience that joy. And that's where it all began. And I never looked back.
Well, thank goodness. Sorry. First off, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being vulnerable. Thank goodness you didn't let it stop you, because obviously you've been given a talent and a light that some people in this world are either jealous of or are unable to handle. And the fact that you continue to move forward in releasing all of that bad energy and creating good from it is incredibly inspiring, NESSA.
It's not easy. There are days where I have to ask for help from others, whether that's from my mom, my friends, my church family, my theater family, even my psychiatrist. I always have to know that I'm not alone in this.
You bet you're not, NESSA. And look at, I've been very fortunate to speak with hundreds upon hundreds of artists these past few months all around the world. And I don't want to reveal names, but you can see them in my interviews. There's so many artists out there who put up brave faces, but who got vulnerable like you during these interviews. And there are a lot of people, especially artists, going through it because it's us artists that feel deep, but also use our traumas and our past experiences that may not be so good into our work. And I'm curious for you, NESSA. You are such an amazing artist of all different disciplines. Are there any specific roles that you've played? Because I know that you've played roles from the classics to original works. Are there any specific roles or theatrical moments that stand out for you as particularly joyful?
Oh, yeah. Most recently, I've done a year and a half of virtual theater, and I guess the term working actor really applied here. But
Yes.
I feel like there are several roles that brought me so much joy. My first one would have to be my very first time in a lead role, where I was in a comedy called Lotto and Raffles and Sweepstakes, Oh My, with Play Zoomers. And I was the lead character who won $1 million. And it was like a sitcom feel. And
I was about to say, it sounds like a situational comedy.
Pretty much. And it was just so much fun. All the zaniness of a sitcom, like something from the 80s or 90s. And that just brought me so much joy. I could not stop having fun and so much joy in that moment where it brought me joy.
And I'm sure you brought so much joy to everyone who got to watch it. And on top of your acting, talk to me a little bit about your writing.
Yeah, I actually recently got back into writing again during the pandemic when I established my website. And what I love to do is a bi-weekly blog where I can add my observations and reflections on my career, what's going on in the world, and just anything in general. And this being my 5th year as a professional actor, I have been doing every other week acting reflections where I would share things I've experienced and discovered in these past 5 years of my acting career. And incidentally, the next one is coming out on Friday, tomorrow, where I did a tribute to Stephen Sondheim. And obviously, I never had a chance to perform in any of his shows, but I'm going to say this right now. My dream is to play the witch in Into the Woods because I love the song Children Will Listen. That song has just meant so much to me. And I'm also am blessed enough to have written an original monologue called Define Black for a virtual performance called Monologues of the Black Experience, where Black artists in the DMV shared their experiences growing up Black. And when I was asked to do this project, I basically thought back to high school, where my best friend and I were hanging out at the mall, and somehow we had run into classmates of ours from high school, and somehow word got to us that we dressed like white people. And that stuck with me for a very long time. And that was the basis for Define Black, like questions like, why do you talk like that? You dress like you're white, you don't like fried chicken, you don't watch BET, you're not Black. And it's like, is there supposed to be a code for being Black when there should be a code for being an individual, no matter what your color is? And that just was the basis for Define Black. And
I think it's amazing, Nessa, that, well, first and foremost, Stephen Sondheim, the absolute best. Children Will Listen. I mean, just those opening lyrics, careful the things you say. Children will listen. The fact that you are able to take your experiences, Nessa, not only singing a Sondheim lyric of a great song, and I will put out into the universe of you playing that great role of the witch one day, but for your monologue and for your writing, that you're able to take your experiences and change the narrative, not from negative and caricature and negative connotation in the easy way, lazy way that our society has placed all of these negative emotions on. Again, I think it just goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning. People's fear, people's jealousy, people's unable to handle discomfort in that projection, and the fact that you changed the narrative through using of your talent in art to put out goodness out there. I mean, it's an incredible thing you do, Nessa, really.
Yeah, I do my best. I've experienced so much, but the fact that I get to use my gifts in a way that shows others that it's okay to be vulnerable and that it's okay to ask for help and that it's okay to use your voice in a way that doesn't diminish you or put others down. That's powerful. And I hope in some way that either through my blogs or through Define Black, which has been published in an anthology with 40 other Black artists, I hope that in some way what I have to say and what I do as an artist can reach out to people and let them know that there is someone out there.
Well, listen, Nessa, you touched Will on 57th Street in New York, and with and through the FENIX platform, you are now going to be reaching an even larger audience, an international one. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch your star rise, because you are a star and a person with an it factor who leads with humble, gracious, qualities that are truly, unfortunately, rare in this business, but obviously you have used your past experiences and you've been able to somehow funnel it through this light that you have within you. And thank goodness you are shining it on a world that needs it now more than ever, Nessa.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Well, listen, I'm from New York. I say it like it is. And I want to let everyone know, for more on the incredible Nessa, you can read more about her right below this video. And Nessa, you've moved me greatly. And I know that you're going to continue to move thousands, if not tens of thousands and millions. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to be here.